Hi everyone and welcome to this new fun video. In this video I will finally be showing you all the items I crocheted and also knitted and sewed, I don't know, in 2023. Yay! Finally at the end of January I have time to film this video. I want to talk about a few things in this intro First of all, we are almost at 1000 subscribers. We're so close. So if you want to support me, be sure to subscribe to this channel. I have a lot of crochet, illustration and do-it-yourself type of content, and I really hope my channel can entertain you. Another thing I want to talk about, if this video seems a little bit messy, I kind of today wanted to film this whole video, edit and publish it all in one day, but then I decided to not do it because yesterday there was kind of a traumatic event that happened. Right after that wall there was a house fire at our neighbor's house just behind the wall, but I'm not gonna go into detail about it. I'm gonna explain a little bit what happened in an upcoming vlog, but I just wanted to tell you if this video seems a bit messy, or I don't know, I feel like all my videos are kind of messy though. You know that's because I have kind of undergone a traumatic event. I don't know. For this video I'm gonna be lazy because I'm very overwhelmed, and I'm just gonna show you photos and clips that I already made from all the items, so I'm not gonna film a separate video for this video. I looked at on my hard drive to find back some pictures and videos, and some videos I actually deleted, so I only have pictures for them. But let's get into all the items that I made. I'm gonna look on my phone because I made a list of all the items I made, because there are a lot of items. I think there are more than 35 items. So one of the first items I ever crocheted is actually a sweater I'm wearing now. It was, yeah, I think the first item I actually made besides some granny squares, and I love it a lot. I think it's my most worn sweater that I own that I crocheted, because it's kind of basic and just easy to wear and warm. And I also made a copy of this sweater for my little niece, and we have the same sweater now. I also made a few flower pillows. I'm gonna show you. I think I only have pictures of them, but I have a few designs. This is one of them, and I think I made 3 in total with different colors. I have a pink one, I have a yellow one, and I have a purple one. This was quite easy to do. This was like my first time trying amigurumi and working with magic circle or magic ring. And yeah, it was a very fun experience. I also made this vest, and I used a pattern for it, but the smiley side of the vest I actually designed myself, and I really want to put out a pattern based on this smiley design. Hopefully this year, if I find the energy to do so. And I really love this vest. I also wear it quite often, but maybe not as much because it doesn't have sleeves. But I do really like this design a lot. By the way, for all the items that I'm showing you where I used a pattern, I'm gonna link it in the description. A lot of the items I made I kind of freehanded or designed myself, so I can't really give a pattern for that, but I'm gonna list all the links that I have in the description. I also made shortly after I think, I made my first wall hanging, and this is what it looks like. It was quite simplistic, but I designed it myself with stitch fiddle, and I really love how it turned out. It is definitely a lot more simplistic compared to the wall hangings that you'll see in a second, but this was my first time trying, and per pixel for my design I did 2 double crochets. I also freehanded some gloves, and I made gloves with the same pattern that I wrote for a friend of mine. Then I also made this heart top. I actually won the pattern with a giveaway, and I was so happy that I won it, but I think the execution isn't that great because it looks a bit maybe wide on me and not really that flattering, but I still really like how it turned out. The only thing is, I don't know when I'm ever gonna wear this. I think I've worn it once on a festival last summer, and yeah, I haven't really worn it ever since, and it's also not super flattering, but I really love this pattern and the concept behind it. Next, I made this apron. Well, I first made it in about March or May, but it didn't turn out that well, and then I redesigned it later in 2023 and I redid it. I re-sewn everything. But this is the apron that I made, and it's also like free-handed kind of. I didn't use a pattern or anything. This is also a project that I thought that took up so much time. I think it took me 40 to 50 hours, which is actually normal for one item or like a set of items for me now. But back then I was like, damn, this is taking up so much time. And this is the result, and I really like it, but there's something wrong with the little vest. It's a little bit gapey on the back. I think I'll need to attach an elastic at the back of my neck. And I also haven't worn it at all. I don't know, I feel like it's cute, but it's also kind of basic. But yeah, I still like it. Maybe I'll wear it next summer. This is one of my favorite items that I made in 2023, and it's with a pattern which somehow to me sounds worse, because I feel like I really want to be a fashion designer, which means that I would prefer my own designs over the patterns that I use. But I used so many nice patterns last year. This is definitely one of my favorite items, this cardigan. It was very nice. I don't know what else to say about it. I love it so much. I wear it quite often, not as often as I would like, because it's kind of hard to match with other clothing with like the two colors going on, but I still really like it. I love it. I also bought a kit from We Are Knitters, and of course I made a whole video about it. All these items that I made you can find back on my YouTube videos. I either made separate videos for each project, or I put the projects in my vlogs, but I made a separate video for this sweater that I knitted. This is the first time I tried knitting again after a really long time, and I made the sweater that Marzia designed. I'm such a huge fan of her. She's like my biggest idol, I don't know. And I love how the sweater turned out. I also wear it quite often, but the sleeves are very short, and I think I would prefer it if the sleeves were a bit longer, but I still really like the design. I think it's a good sweater to wear during late summer or something like that. I also made this monstrosity, which is a dino nugget, but for me the pattern was so hard to follow and it turned out looking so bad, so I don't know, I'm just not gonna give much attention to this project. This also is one of my favorite items that I made in 2023. It's my big cow wall hanging. I also made a separate video for this, and I will hang it up in my studio space when my studio space is done. I love it so much. It's quite big. I also love the yarn that I used, but it was very floofy and it lost a lot of yarn. I had a lot of like fuzzies flying around when working with this yarn. But this is definitely one of my favorite items that I made. I also upcycled a jacket that I bought on Vinted, and I had this cat tapestry. In the future I also want to make a separate video explaining how you can crochet in a custom shape, by the way. So if you want to see that, definitely subscribe. I made this little cat shape tapestry thingy, and I just sew it onto the jacket, and I also made some puffy flowers that I also attached to the jacket, and I love this item so much. I don't wear it as often as I would like to, but when the weather gets a little bit warmer I'll definitely wear it more again. I made this poncho when we were at a festival last summer, and I just washed it, by the way, but I didn't wash it on the wool setting, so it kind of looks like felt now. But that's fine because I don't wear this poncho at all. It was just kind of sitting on the couch as like a little blanket for Mona, but I never use it, so I'm not too sad about it kind of shrinking. It's not really shrunken, it just looks like felt now. I don't know how to explain it. I made a little headset sprout, of course, because this was super trendy and I love it so much. It's still on my headset and I wear it so often. I tried making lavender flowers, but I only made like the little leaves and then I never attached them to a stem. So one day I'll have to do that, but I made different lavender leaves, like flowers, and at that point I was convinced that I would do a lot of flowers, but these were the only flowers I ever made, like bouquet flowers. But I'm such a big fan of crocheted flowers that eventually I would love to make some bouquets. Then I tried to design my own clothing for once. You can see this is my first design that I ever like fully designed, sketched out and crocheted myself. So this is an original Hippie Hooray design and I like how it turned out, but I haven't worn it as much because I think the vibe is a little bit too busy maybe, and it's also a little bit too big for me. Okay, so now we're at August and September, the things I made during summer or like late summer. I made this little beach dress and it only took me about 6 to 8 hours to make, and I love it so much with this rainbow yarn. And then I got a commission for this dress, so I made it for someone else as well. I don't do commissions, but since this person was kind of like an influencer, I decided to do the commission, and it also was a design that only took me 6 to 8 hours, which is for a project for me is a very little time. I made another wall hanging from this cat paw design. It was actually inspired by a sketch I made in my sketchbook and I really love how it turned out. I don't know what I will do with it because I know for my previous wall hanging that I will hang it up in my studio space, but for this cat paw design I mainly made it because I had some leftover yarn from the cow wall hanging. So I made this little paw design and I like it so much, but I'm not sure what I will do with it yet. Then the first design I showed you with like the flowers and like a little bit of a busy design, I tried to recreate it with a more simplistic design and with butterflies. And I also made it a little bit smaller and I really love how this design turned out. It's also one of my favorite things I made and that makes me very happy because I designed this item from scratch. And I might also make a pattern for this one day. I keep saying I want to make patterns, but it seems very overwhelming for me to do, so I don't know when I will start with writing those patterns. And yeah, I also wear this item quite often or sometimes, but I feel like it's more appropriate for summer or spring. I tried to make a ditto and then I ran out of yarn and it basically looks like this, and then I just abandoned it forever. I also made a balaclava that was way too small for me and I just kind of gave it to my mom for one of my nieces, but I kind of don't know what happened with the balaclava. I've never seen any of my nieces wear the balaclava, so I don't even know where it is at the moment, but yeah, I made it and it was way too small for me. I do really like the colors though. I've knit a whole scarf for my boyfriend and it looks like this, and I really like how it turned out, but I kind of regret not crocheting it because I feel like I'm a lot better when it comes to color work to crochet it, and I'm not very good at color work knitting because it was very curly, and I don't know, I still really like how it turned out and he wears it quite often. So I'm very proud of the scarf I made for him. And it was his idea, like the design and everything, so I just executed it. So the next few items are something I'm still working on, kind of like the whole outfit. I made this little top and then also a little matching vest, and it took me a very long time, and I also made dedicated videos which are kind of tutorials as well on these items on my YouTube channel, and I both like them a lot, but then again I don't really know when I'm gonna wear them. For the vest I don't even know if I like the yarn choice that much, like the coloring. I'm not the biggest fan of it, but I already bought a ton of these skeins of yarn, so I decided to just use them for this project. And currently I'm still working on a matching shorts and skirt for this set, which I'll publish a video about soon. I'm still working on it. It's taking forever. I think for this project, like the top, the vest, the shorts and the skirt, in total I have been working on it for over 100 hours and I'm so tired of it. I really just don't want to do it anymore, but I guess I promised like the last video for this set, so I'll publish it soon. And then of course I also wanted to write patterns for these items. At least that's what I told everyone. And that might be something for next year. I have no idea yet, but I do really like these designs. But maybe in the future when I'm gonna remake these items, because of course if I want to write a pattern for these, I'll have to remake everything. I think I would use other type of yarn, especially like for the top, because it was very small yarn and it took me ages to crochet with. And then the vest, I do still kind of like the type of fabric, but I don't really like the colors as much, so I'm not sure how many times I would wear it, besides for like a fun event during spring or summer. I spent so much time on this blanket that I made as a Christmas gift for my niece, but I really like how it turned out. It is huge and it also looks very nice. I'm very proud of this little blanket. It was the first blanket I ever crocheted. The next item I want to talk about is a sewn item. I actually sewed something again, and it's this dress made out of my sketches. So I basically ordered a fabric with my sketches printed on it, and I love it so much. Again, I don't know when I'm gonna wear it. Maybe for like a fancy event, or I don't know. I wore it for Christmas, like the Christmas party, but I really love how it turned out. This took me such a long time and I'm a total beginner at sewing, so my mom actually had to help me out a lot with the details, and I made a separate video about it, so definitely check it out as well. But yeah, that was my little experiment of, oh, I want to wear my own sketches, and then I made it into a dress, and I really like how it turned out, although it's far from perfect, but it's still a nice try. Then the next items on my list were my Christmas presents. We're actually reaching the end. I made a few Christmas presents for friends, which were mostly amigurumi. I made this little clown cat for a friend and she really loved it. I also made this little beetle for a friend and she also really loved it. And then I also made this tiny pigeon for a friend and she also loved it. And what else did I make? I made a heart-shaped sponge for my grandma, and for my mom I made bookmarks, but I don't know if I have a picture of that. Just like flower bookmarks. And I also gave her the... Oh wait, didn't I miss something? Okay, I missed an item on my list. But I also knitted this cottagecore inspired sweater with a matching strawberry crochet stitch purse. And the purse I actually gave to my mom for Christmas, so that's why I'm now realizing that I totally missed this sweater for this video. But yeah, I also knitted this this sweater I mean, and I really love it a lot. If it would have longer sleeves, I would definitely wear it more often. So that's a bit stupid, but I still like it overall. I think if I would ever make a pattern for this and like sell it and stuff, I would definitely make it again with longer sleeves, because I don't know, short sleeves are just kind of annoying to me. Then I made a few of these colors just for fun, and I also made a YouTube tutorial about how you can make one yourself. And I also did a giveaway for one of these colors. By the way, I have commented on the winner and they haven't answered yet, so at the moment I don't really know what to do for my giveaway because I don't know how to contact the winner. So if you are the person that won my giveaway, please send me your information to contact you, because otherwise I'll have to look for a new winner. And then I think the last item I made in 2022, it isn't finished at all. I wanted to make a scrap sweater, but then I ran out of scrap yarn. So this is what I made so far, and I don't know what to think about it. I kind of think it's a little bit ugly, but I'll definitely work on it more during this year when I have more scraps to work with. And I think that's everything I made in 2023. I might have forgotten something. But I feel like I made a lot of things. I think for this year I will try to take it a little bit slower. I already made a few items in January, but that's for another video, of course. Yeah, I'll probably also have less time this year for crochet, I'm guessing. But yeah, I feel like in 2023 I just made a lot of things. So I won't make the pressure too high for myself for 2024, but I'm still very excited for all the projects I want to do in 2024. I also really hope that I get like the energy and motivation to start writing patterns, because I have a few items that I made in 2023 that I would love to make a pattern for, but it all kind of depends on like the feedback I get as well. If I write a pattern and nobody like buys it or anything, I don't think I'll be very motivated to write more patterns. That's it for this video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in next week's video, or maybe later this week, because I don't know when I'm gonna publish this video. Have a good day or night. Bye bye!